Before we begin today's episode, I'd like to pay tribute to Trevor Sternad of the Black Dahlia murder. He passed away on the 11th of May at the age of 41. One thing that always struck me about Trevor was, in addition to being the frontman of a well-known band, he was truly a champion of underground metal. A few years ago, he started a column called The Sotiris, and it featured many obscure bands alongside well-known names. After following the column for a few months, it became my go-to list every month to discover new metal acts from around the world. At heart, Trevor was a metal fan just like all of us. Rest in power, Trevor. Thank you for all the music.
Welcome to Horns Up. I'm Animesh.
And I'm Peter.
And today we're joined by none other than Sotiris Anunnaki from Greek metal act SepticFlesh. How's it going? How are you today?
Greetings, my friends. Everything is going well. Soon our new album, Modern Primitives, is going to be released from Ugar Blast.
Yes, and that's an album that comes 5 years after your last album, Codex Omega. Does it really feel like it's been 5 years long?
We had an interruption with the pandemic, and so everything was pushed back because actually we wanted to release it much sooner, but we had to cope with the new way of things. Our way of working is really complex because we are using 3 different studios in 3 different countries. So we have the metal instruments that are recorded in Greece. That was the most easier part. But we had also to record the symphonic elements that they are always recorded in Prague in order to be more comfortable for the musicians there. And then we had the recordings on Sweden that are the recordings of the drums, because the producer wants to have the upper hand of the recordings of the drums, because it's a really important element in the sound. And so we had to coordinate all the recordings in a really harsh situation when each country had its own rules. So eventually we had to pause when things got worst and wait for the proper time to continue the recordings. And that pushed us back.
So it's interesting you say that. I mean, most of the music being released in 2022 is all music that's been written during the lockdown because everybody was at home and had nothing better to do. Was this album written during the lockdown, or was it already written before that and it was just the recording process that got jumbled up?
Exactly. Before we enter studio, we are always prepared, at least 80% prepared. And then there are the additional ideas that come pump up during the recording phase. So as we started the recordings and we were interrupted by the situation, most of the ideas were already be done sooner, before the recordings, before the pandemic. And then there was the situation of finalizing the album and, of course, the performance for the album. But as we had so much time in our hands, it was tempting to search for alternative ideas and try different stuff. So eventually the recording was also influenced by the general situation and the pandemic, and new ideas came out. And so the general identity of the album is something that was affected during a long time of working with the songs.
Well, you say that now because now it's finally completed. But take us back to that time. How frustrated were you and the band that you couldn't really do anything about anything? Was it frustrating? And how
Of
did
course.
you basically keep yourself patient and say that no, this will happen. We just need to let it happen.
Well, it was a hell situation, and of course, also it is as it is our first album with Nuclear Blast. We were really disappointed that we had so many obstacles in order to finalize the album, and we had so many plans that had to be rescheduled and replanned, and everything was really crazy, and of course we were affected emotionally, at least at first, but then you just have to say to yourself that shit happens in life, and no matter how well you are prepared, you have to face things that come in your way. Just deal with it. So this was also the situation for us. From one point and after, we just felt that no matter what, we had to stick to our vision of creation and be patient and just find solutions and utilize the time in order to prepare the next phase of promotion of the album, and whatever else we could do that it was possible during lockdown. And so it is like saying that no matter what, we will overcome the obstacles, and we use whatever comes in our way in the best possible way to reach to our goal.
Yeah, and I'm so glad, right? Because like when you're talking about it, right now you're talking to two guys from India about the album, and you're on your press cycle for it. How relieved do you feel that you're able to talk about the album now that it's finally done? I mean, what are your expectations from the album at the moment?
You said the magic word. I'm relieved, because it was a big burden, and for all of us in the band, because we have multiple roles in the band, and so we can only enjoy the moment when everything is done. Before it's madness, it's crazy work, so many things that we have to do, and especially now that we had this crazy situation. So now that after all this time, we see that eventually we get rid of this bad situation, and the bad things are behind us. Now we have only the good things to expect, and from day one, from the release of our first single, Hierophant, we really saw that the new album is really strong and has a really strong impression to the people. We have a lot of new fans, and we see it. We see the numbers, we see everything, and the reactions. And so we are at this point, after this odyssey that we had, we are really relieved and ready to celebrate the release of the album.
Now, I just want to dive into the album, and from the press release that we got, one quote really stood out about modern primitive, right? It says, I'm guessing it's you if I remember well, that says, we also see ourselves as thinkers. Whatever leaves us with strong impressions find its way into our music. And
Yeah.
a little bit earlier, you talked just about how the pandemic affected you emotionally. Am I seeing a pattern in that quote and what you said earlier to us also?
Yes, because actually we are human beings, and we have our positive and our negative side. We have to struggle with our fears. This process of struggling with yourself and your fears, if you find a way to win, then makes you stronger. And we have this deep philosophical way of thinking. And also personally, I think that life is not to be lived as a robot, just do things and not ask why. And I have a lot of questions, and I always observe, and I always get input that affects me. And eventually, as I'm also a lyricist and an artist, whatever affects me passes to our music. And we try to make also people think. We are not a band that just creates lyrics and stuff just to have some fun and pass the time in a good way. But we try to make art that stands the trial of time. This is, I think, the most important, because time is the ultimate judge. And so everything we do, everything we are doing, has a lot of thinking behind.
Yes, absolutely. We can see that in the album itself. You spoke about it as art. So let's give our listeners a taste of that art. Let's play a song from Modern Primitive. Which one should we play? And can you tell us something about that song specifically as a way to introduce it to all our listeners?
Yeah. Well, we had a great difficulty with this album to find one single, because there were so many songs that were competing for the position of the single. Although that most of the songs are really complex in orchestration, at the end of the day, they sound really tight, and they are so rhythmical and have so many hooks with melodies that a lot of songs are great for singles. And that's why we have released so far 3 singles. We picked the songs in a strategic manner, because we wanted, at least for the people that are not so accustomed to our style, to see as many aspects of the band as possible. So we have songs that are more rhythmical and heavy. We have also songs that are more theatrical, as Neuromancer, for example. We have songs that have a lot of signature SepticFlesh stuff on them, like for instance, the latest single, Desert Throne, that I'm sure that the older fans will also find connectivity. Mm-hmm. I don't know. We have also one last song for a single that we will present at the day that the album will come out.
That's 20th May, everyone.
What?
That is 20th May, everyone.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And this song is the more advanced, considering orchestration. I don't know, but there are so many good songs for singles.
Pick one.
I
pick one and let's play it right now.
Just to pick one, eh?
Yeah, just pick one so that we can give a sample as well.
Okay, so I pick a Desert Throne, the last one.
Interesting choice. Why Desert Throne?
Because I think it's more straight to the point, and it's a good introduction to the band.
Yes, it's also something that carries over from the SepticFlesh legacy of sorts. Exactly. It will appeal to the older fans as well. Awesome. Exactly. Here it is. Exactly. Here is Desert Throne.
one of the things about Septic Flesh in the last decade or so is your collaboration with the Philharmonic Orchestra of Prague, and you talked about it. This time around, actually, you used both an adult and a children's choir. Was there like a specific sound that you're looking for while you were writing the songs, that you had both choirs in mind, and how did you kind of go about it? Because again, to put it into context, we're talking, this was recorded while the pandemic was happening, right?
Yeah. Well, we had in the past also worked with children voices. For instance, in the song "The Vampire from Nazareth," and we had a really great result because there is this strange element in the children choir that it's not so perfect, but it's so emotional, and so it is this kind of airy way of providing a contrast with the music. And also the children choir is also is often used in movies because it provides a really different element from the adult choir, that it's pitch perfect and has a completely different attitude than the children choir. And you can say that we had a lot of ideas from day one in our mind, how to incorporate this kind of vocals to our music. For instance, when I created the intro for A Desert Throne, I had in my mind from day one that the intro would be played by choir, you know. And I gave to Christos, that he's responsible for the choir and the symphonic elements, my idea. And he incorporated the idea, provided the music sheets to the children, and we have this outstanding result. Also, Seth, that creates a lot of songs, also had ideas about the female choir and the children choir. All of us in the band, there is a true connection to our minds because we are working so many years together, and we know how to communicate our ideas and alter the ideas. Each member of the band providing a different specialty that he has to the idea. And also Christos, of course, that his compositions start from day one from the symphonic point of view. Had a lot of ideas with children choir, and so it is one of the dominant elements in the album.
Okay, that's fascinating, because I've always tried to figure out how songwriting really works when you have an orchestra involved. Do the songs do they still begin life as guitar riffs or melodies or lyrics? And I mean, when you have a song idea, are you also constructing what part the symphonies will come in? Do you already have an idea of, okay, over here this melody will only be played by the symphony, and you won't hear the guitar playing it? Talk us to that.
Okay. Well, first I have to point out that we are composing in musical terms.
Mm-hmm.
So what's more important for us is the music and the emotion.
Got it.
We are not 100% sure which instrument finally will take the specific idea.
That's interesting.
So sometimes we create melodies with a guitar, and at the end we give the melody to another instrument, to a violin, to something else. The same goes the other way around, because some ideas that were created for violins at first, we decide that we put the melody to the guitar. So there is this kind of changes But of course, sometimes we have a really specific intention in our minds from day one. For instance, Seth was really into incorporating these ethnic instruments to his ideas. So he created a lot of songs playing a 12-string electroacoustic guitar that emulates this kind of instruments as bouzouki, oud, and
that's what it
yeah,
is. Because I was
yeah,
going to ask you about the Oriental instruments. It's basically on a
yes.
12-string guitar.
We have lute, we have oud, we have bouzouki, we have so many different ethnic instruments. And so, because he wanted from day one to emulate this motion and present it to us, especially to Christos, he gave to us in his first recordings the ideas like that, and then it was a matter of decisions because as everybody contributes something, when we have everything on the table, and we are each one of us is aware about the complete options. We record everything at first, and then we hit the delete button.
That's easier. That's always easier.
Yeah. Yes, because we have to first to make the recording and then to make the decision when we have everything, because it's also a matter of frequencies,
Mhm.
and it's counterproductive to play the same thing from a lot of different instruments because the one instrument eats the other and nothing comes out. You lose power instead of gaining. So then it's not so easy to make choice to delete because you have put a lot of work and a lot of passion to the recordings, but it's something obviously that has to be done in order to have a good result, because the most important is not the ego, but the result, because the band is above the members and above everything else in as a singular point.
Okay, I need a quick answer on this. Does symphony add to the heaviness of the music?
Yeah. 100%.
Does it also help make the music more accessible?
I don't know. Probably we will be more accessible with less stuff, because sometimes I think that we overload the brain of the listeners, and sometimes the listener wants something more simple to absorb, but we don't care. We don't care. We care about what our instinct tells and our artistic choice to be faithful. And but I'm sure that a lot of stuff that is played by the orchestra is so heavy that is rather heavier than some metal songs. For instance, when you listen to Coming Storm, the orchestra is like a fist in your face. It's indeed like nature is trying to kill us all.
We've had a great chat so far, so I have to ask. It's been 11 albums over 30 years, right? And you guys have done so much. What's next for SepticFlesh?
Well, at this point, we don't want to think about the future because this album was really took a lot from us. We gave everything, and we wanted to just refuel, just enjoy the ride and celebrate and be more normal. And normal for a band is to travel around the world and play shows and be together with the audience. And this is our first priority right now, to present the album. And when the time comes, when we will feel that our battery is charged again, then we will think about our next step.
Awesome. We look
Fantastic.
forward to that.
Sotiris, thank you so much for taking some time out and chatting with us. I know it's a busy day for you and it's going to be a busy time for you because the album is releasing on 20th May, and that means a lot of press, a lot of interviews. I hope this little chat was worth your time.
Yes. I really enjoyed chatting with you. Thank you for your support. And I don't know, I also thank everybody that already have pre-ordered the album.
If you haven't yet, do check it out. SepticFlesh's Modern Primitive releases 20th May. And once you've checked it out, why don't you let us know what you thought about it? You can do that on hornsubpod.com or as always on Twitter at hornsubpod. I'm at Asmawani on Twitter.
I'm at Trend Crusher.
And this was Horns Up.
Horns up, guys.
Horns up.